to have a lot of difficulty getting going on my memoirs because of what I want to talk about and reveal. I've just had a discussion, probably over an hour, with my sister Margie, who is a nurse, who has been a nurse for many, many years, just retired not long ago at the age of 73. And again, we went over the reasons why I started thinking my dad was having homosexual affairs while married to my mother. And particularly with the man who molested me at 5 years old. Now my sister was with me, this sister. When we'd go to the neighbors, my dad would take us to the neighbors to visit this man. All during one winter when we lived over in, first went to live in Salt Gulch, and he lived, just maybe almost a mile away. And I told her I understood why she didn't think anything of these visits, or she didn't really, because she was a year younger than I was. I was 5, she was only 4. And later on, when the man molested me that summer, I thought it was in a jealous rage over my dad. I had not taken him with him on the weekends to party. And my mother had discussed this with me.
Your mother had discussed?
Yes, she said, Bill is very mad at Daddy, Clyde, you know, my dad, for not taking him to party. Well, he's not going to take an ugly old thing like Bill along. And I was thinking, well, that just implied that he could go find some younger, handsomer men to hang out with. Well, I think this was just an unconscious kind of comment from my mother. But I was sitting there with him molesting me in the corn, thinking, what could possibly, he's so mad at my dad. He's grabbed me for revenge. That takes an awful lot of rage.
How tall were you? About like Dad or something like that? I mean.
Yeah, well,
how tall was
I don't know. 5.
Was the corn taller than you?
Yes, the corn happened to be taller, and
was it as tall as an elephant's eye or anything like that?
Yes.
I don't know. I heard the song.
Yes. Well, he's here for lightening the. I guess. But anyway, you know, my sister and I were, just sort of going over this again. She said, well, I can see that everything that happened must have gotten etched onto your brain. Yes, it did. Etched in acid, you know. I mean, why he did this, how I was going to handle it, who I was going to tell. And he can't understand why I didn't tell, why I didn't just go, Mom. Well, there was a whole lot of reasons why I didn't tell.
You know, I always thought you were an acid hit.
Yes, acid. Hey.
Oh, you got that, didn't you?
Yes, and I didn't like it.
You didn't like it. Okay.
But anyway, he's heard all this.
Heard it. I'm.
But anyway.
Listen, I can write it. That's how much I've heard.
He could write it.
I can write it.
But I'm the one that's having a lot of trouble writing it.
I know.
I mean, I just.
See, I can write it. I've heard it so often.
In fact, my sister even said to me, well, we decided we didn't know whether we were even friends anymore. We're not really talking to one another, only very rarely. And I'm sure that I can see why, you know, she lives in Utah, she's respected, and here I am going to talk about a possible gay dad. Well, this just shows you how little this problem is talked about, and how hard it is to talk about it. But you know, when it involves something like what happened with me, I just feel like I couldn't even talk about the molesting, because I could not talk about the other big problem that I saw, that my dad was having I thought having an affair with this guy.
Oh.
And this was just like boggling my mind. I I thought, well, he's certainly not. You know, I even think of my dad as living, if he's up in heaven in the hereafter, he's disgraced, he's in some hole off to himself with the others like him. We can't even talk about it. I wonder if they talk about it in heaven or in the hereafter. Well, you know, because this is such a deep, dark secret. If you were married and you had children, then you can never talk about it because it will, you know, the children will have to live with the disgrace and I'm thinking, what, you know, this. I have met a friend in here who's gay. He's out with it. He said, I made up my mind when I moved in here that I would no longer hide the fact that I'm gay.
Disclaimer on me, I am not taking.
Yeah, he's not. And this friend told me, he said,
as far as she knows.
I will tell you what I think. I do not think that most gays are born that way. I think they're molested into it. And he's known a lot of gays and talked to them. He's a very big talker. He's from New York. He's talked to many, I'm sure. And if he's saying that, then we as a society, I think, bear some responsibility for not addressing what happens with molestation. We're not even saying that molestation can cause people to develop gay feelings and can cause them big problems later on in life because they don't know who they are. They started out, they thought heterosexual, and then if they were molested enough that they developed these feelings, which I was molested 3 different times, and the third time I actually felt sexual feelings, and I was horrified. I thought, oh, I didn't even know a little 5-year-old girl could have sexual feelings. But I feel them, and this guy's doing this. Well, I think that it could have I could so easily have been a little boy and been molested like this repeatedly because I would have had to go and do a lot more stuff out in the fields and on horses and camping out. To me, this is how my dad probably got gay.
What did your dad call you?
Jerry. Well, he didn't have any sons, so this is one reason why I was out sort of mixing it up and knowing the hired men and doing things, because at that time he was grooming me to drive the hay wagon and the horses, and I was so eager to do it. I just wanted to do it so bad. And I would ride a horse every time I got the chance, and I couldn't wait to go with my dad and drive cattle. But it was very unusual for a girl to get to do this.
My dad used to call me Pete. You know what that's short for?
Oh, yes, right. Oh, my, you should have thought about that.
My dad might have been, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes. So, anyway, I think this is exactly how my dad may have developed these homosexual feelings through molestation, just like happened to me, only longer, a lot longer.